Welcome to Extraordinary Tales. Are you ready for today's story? It starts now. Halloween, the one night a year when we invite darkness to our doorstep, when we dress as monsters and pretend the real horrors are just costumes and makeup. But what happens when the line between pretend and real disappears? Tonight, I'm sharing three stories. Three true stories that happened on Halloween night. Stories that will make you think twice before opening your door to trick-or-treaters. Before answering that knock at midnight. Before trusting that the person in the mask is actually wearing one. These aren't campfire tales. These aren't urban legends passed down through generations. These are real events, real people, real terror. And after tonight, you'll never look at Halloween the same way again. Let's begin. This story comes from Marcus Thompson, a 35-year-old father of two in Richmond, Virginia. Halloween 2019. A night that should have been about candy and laughter and his kids' sugar-rushed bedtime negotiations. Instead, it became the night he realized someone had been living in his house. Marcus and his wife Andrea had gone all out that year. Full-size candy bars, the good stuff, none of that cheap filler. Elaborate decorations covering their front yard. Andrea had even created a haunted pathway to their front door, complete with motion-activated zombies and a fog machine. Their kids, Emma, age 8, and Ryan, age 6, were beyond excited. Emma dressed as a witch. Ryan, predictably, went as Spider-Man for the third year running. The first 2 hours of trick-or-treating were perfect. Normal. Exactly what Halloween should be. Then they came home. Marcus noticed it first. The basement door was open. Not much, just a crack. Maybe 3 inches. "Did you go down there earlier?" he asked Andrea. She shook her head, already herding the kids toward the kitchen to sort their candy. "Haven't been down there in weeks." "Why?" "The door's open. Wind probably." "Andrea, there's no wind in the house." They both stared at the door. That heavy wooden door that always stuck slightly when you opened it. The one that required a solid pull to get it moving. That door was open. Marcus approached slowly, that primal instinct kicking in. The one that tells you something is wrong, even when your rational brain hasn't caught up yet. He flicked on the basement light. The stairs descended into typical basement chaos. Storage boxes, old furniture, Christmas decorations waiting for their season. His workshop in the corner. Nothing out of place, nothing obvious. He went down 3 steps, then stopped. Someone had been there, recently. The air smelled wrong, not musty like basements usually smell. It smelled lived in, like body odor and fast food and something else, something human. On his workbench, he spotted a McDonald's bag. Recent. The receipt was dated that morning, October 31st, 2019, 8:47 a.m. His family hadn't been to McDonald's in months. Then he saw the blanket. His good camping blanket, the expensive one he kept in a sealed bin to prevent moisture damage. It was spread out on the concrete floor behind the furnace, creating a little nest. Beside it, empty water bottles, granola bar wrappers, and a pillow. One of the throw pillows from their upstairs couch. Someone had been sleeping in their basement. Marcus's blood ran cold. He backed up the stairs slowly, never taking his eyes off that dark corner behind the furnace. Half expecting someone to emerge from the shadows. "Andrea," he called, keeping his voice steady so he wouldn't scare the kids. "Call the police, right now." Officers arrived within 6 minutes. They cleared the basement methodically, weapons drawn, flashlights cutting through every shadow. Nobody there, but the evidence was undeniable. Someone had been living in the Thompson family's basement. For how long? That was the question that made Marcus's skin crawl. "Probably homeless," Officer Williams suggested. "Looking for shelter. Saw your house, saw you leave for trick-or-treating, slipped out while you were gone." "But how did they get in?" Andrea asked, her voice shaking. That's when they found it. The basement window. The one Marcus had been meaning to fix for 3 months. The latch was broken, and someone had pushed it open from the outside, just wide enough for a person to squeeze through. "We'll file a report," Williams said. "Increase patrols in the neighborhood. But honestly, they're probably long gone. You scared them off." The officers left. Marcus and Andrea put the kids to bed, not mentioning anything about the basement, keeping the night magical and safe for them. But Marcus couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., unable to stop thinking about that nest in his basement, Marcus did something he later told me he wished he'd never done. He checked the security camera footage. They'd installed cameras 6 months earlier after a string of package thefts in the neighborhood. One camera covered the front door, one covered the driveway, and one, Marcus's insistence, covered the basement window well. He started with that morning, Halloween day, before they'd left for trick-or-treating. 6:02 p.m., the family leaves through the front door, kids in costume, everyone laughing. Nothing. Empty basement window frame. A figure emerges from the shadows outside the window well, not climbing out, climbing in. Marcus's hands started shaking. The figure was wearing a costume, a full-body monster costume with a grotesque mask, the kind you buy at Spirit Halloween, something with horns and rotting flesh details. He watched as the costumed figure squeezed through the window and disappeared into his basement. "Jesus," Marcus whispered, but it got worse, so much worse. Marcus rewound the footage, started from the beginning of the recorded history days earlier. October 28th, 3:42 a.m., the figure climbs out of the basement window, disappears into the night. October 28th, 11:15 p.m., the figure returns, climbs back in. October 27th, 4:01 a.m., out. October 27th, 10:38 p.m., in. A pattern. The intruder had been living in their basement for at least a week, maybe longer, leaving late at night, returning before dawn. But that wasn't the worst part. Marcus fast-forwarded to October 30th, the day before Halloween. 2:07 p.m., the figure emerges from the basement window, still wearing the costume. Full monster mask, horns, grotesque details. But this time, it doesn't head into the woods behind their property. It walks around to the front of the house. And Marcus realizes with creeping horror, he remembers that day. October 30th, the day before Halloween. Andrea had been home with the kids. He'd been at work. Marcus scrolled to the front door camera, his heart hammering. 2:08 p.m., the doorbell rings. On screen, Andrea opens the door. Emma and Ryan crowd behind her, curious. The monster stands on their porch, full costume, full mask. Andrea smiles, laughs. Marcus can't hear the audio through his computer's tinny speakers, but he can read her body language. She thinks it's a neighbor kid, practicing their costume, maybe trick-or-treating a day early. She gestures for Ryan to grab the candy bowl, and the monster just stands there, watching them. Through that mask, with its grotesque face and hollow eyes, watching Marcus's wife and children. Ryan brings the candy bowl. Andrea drops a handful into the monster's bag. The monster doesn't leave. Andrea says something else. Marcus can see her lips moving, probably asking if they want more candy, asking where they live, typical friendly neighborhood mom stuff. The monster tilts its head, a slow, predatory movement, then raises one hand and waves. At Emma specifically. Emma waves back, delighted. The monster turns and walks away, but not toward any neighboring house, toward the woods, the same woods that backed up to their property, the same woods where their basement window was hidden from view. Marcus sat there, staring at the screen, his mind racing through the implications. This person, this intruder, had been living in their basement, sleeping there, eating there, listening to their family live above them, learning their routines, their schedules, their patterns. And then, wearing a Halloween costume, they'd walked up to the front door in broad daylight and interacted with his wife and children. Andrea and the kids thought it was a neighbor in costume, but it was the person who'd been secretly living beneath them for days. Marcus checked more footage. His hands were shaking so badly he could barely control the mouse. October 29th, 7:45 a.m., the figure in the monster costume stands in the woods behind their house, watching Marcus leave for work through the trees. October 28th, 1:32 p.m., the figure stands at the edge of their yard, watching Andrea hang Halloween decorations. October 27th, 4:15 p.m., the figure stands outside Ryan's bedroom window, watching him play video games, always watching, always in costume. Anyone who saw them would just think, Halloween decoration. Neighbor having fun. Kid in costume. Marcus called Officer Williams back immediately, showed him everything. The department's tone changed from probably harmless to active investigation real quick. They processed the basement as a crime scene, dusted for fingerprints, collected DNA from the blanket and pillow, and they found something else, hidden behind a box in the corner. Written on the concrete wall in black marker, "Thank you for sharing your home. Your family is beautiful. Happy Halloween." Beneath it, a crude drawing, a stick figure family, 4 people, 2 adults, 2 children, and standing next to them, holding the children's hands, a monster. The DNA came back 3 weeks later, a match in the system. A man named David Reeves, 42, with a record of breaking and entering, trespassing, and this is what made Marcus's blood freeze, stalking. They never found him. He vanished after that Halloween night, probably spooked when he realized the family had discovered his nest. The last confirmed sighting was the security footage of him climbing out their basement window at 6:47 p.m. on Halloween night, still wearing that monster costume. But here's what keeps Marcus awake. Every Halloween since then, he receives a card. No return address, no postmark he can trace. The card always shows a family of 4, always shows them celebrating Halloween, and there's always a figure in the background, just at the edge of the photo, wearing a monster costume, watching. Last year's card arrived on October 31st, 2023. The message inside read, "The kids have grown so much. Emma must be 12 now? Ryan, 10? They're beautiful. I miss living with you. See you soon." Marcus and Andrea moved. New city, new state, new identity. But the cards keep coming, because David Reeves, or whatever his real name is, isn't just a stalker. He's patient, and he's still wearing that costume. Blending in every Halloween, just another monster among monsters, waiting for the right moment to knock on their door again, to be welcomed inside, to come home. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, as another extraordinary tale will be on its way, and soon.